Okay. Now, just kind of look through what you wrote down. Um, kind of recognize, did anything come up for you? Were there some shame or guilt about what you wrote down, about what you ate? Did you realize, oh, I had a big gap in my food between, say, you ate at 6 in the morning and then not again till 2 in the afternoon? Um, Anything that you were proud of or anything that came up for you? And feel free to share if something did come up or didn't come up.
So for sharing, I thought I actually ate more and drank more than I did, and I didn't drink very much. And I ate late, like I didn't eat till noon, and then I ate again at 6, and those are really bad habits.
Well, I understand what you're saying because there's a big gap and there's like 6 hours in between. And then for drinking, what did you have water or was it?
Just two glasses of water.
Oh,
Yeah.
and there's no shame because the first step to change is acknowledgement and realizing where it is. And sometimes that does happen if you get busy. So be kind with yourself. And were you hungry at all in between, or you didn't really notice because you were busy?
No, I wasn't hungry.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was definitely tired.
Which could have been because you weren't, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had a big gap in between.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I just had an off day today, so I actually had like a procedure in the morning. I actually am freezing my eggs, and so I had the retrieval in the morning, and I had to be at the clinic at 6:30 a.m. and I couldn't eat anything, so I didn't eat anything. And after the procedure, I didn't want to eat or drink. I just didn't feel, oh, I guess I forgot to write that down. They did give me some crackers and apple juice when I finished. But then I didn't eat again until like 3 p.m. I think it was just one of those days where I was just kind of like, I was anxious before, and then after, like I felt fine, but it still didn't have an appetite for a while.
Yeah, understandable. Were you did you have local anesthetic or regular anesthetic for the procedure?
It was local because I was like still awake, but they had put an IV in, but I was still awake during it. So
Right. Yeah, but maybe just everything going on for sure would be an off day. So thank you for sharing.
yeah.
That. I guess this wouldn't be a true analysis of your day, but something.
Yeah, so that's why I was like kind of quiet at first. I'm like, well, this is just like a really off day, but
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that with us, and yeah, just something to be mindful, I guess, for tomorrow. Kind of just looking at what you're eating and drinking.
yeah, I also noticed I didn't drink much water, and then I just grabbed a ginger ale, and so I'm like, this is not, when you're talking about water, I was like, I should have grabbed a glass of water instead of this, but
no,
just let me have my off day.
Of course, own it, and tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I was in good behavior today.
That's good. Yeah, that's good too. Sometimes we have to toot our own horns as well.
No, I just I drank more than I normally do because
Yeah. Okay, so our first topic for discussion will be about hydration. So as you probably all know and have heard from social media and every aspect of magazines, we're supposed to drink 8 cups of water a day. That's pretty standard. But sometimes where we get the disconnect is between knowing the knowledge and actually drinking the recommendations for your specific body type. So some people don't like the taste of water. Some people don't like the feeling of having to go pee all the time. Some people are just so busy they forget to actually drink water. So it's about creating a habit around around water and making it enjoyable for you so that you do get hydrated. Because there's so many benefits about drinking enough water, including like skin clarity and brain fog is decreased, and you are detoxifying your body from toxins and you're increasing your circulation. So it is a really important part for also increasing your energy, because when all those good things are happening for you, then your energy level is increased. So some tips and tricks for helping to drink more water is making it fun. So adding like spa kind of water elements, so cucumber or mint or lemon to the water just for the flavoring. I wouldn't recommend like Crystal Light or any of those flavorings to your water, just because there's extra other, I guess, sugar and chemicals in it that are kind of defeating the purpose of drinking water. I would also say if you want it warm, because sometimes people like to have warm drinks, then just heat up some water and put some lemon in it. Some people might find it, for me, I like to drink from a straw. So I have one of those big water jugs and I fill it up twice when I'm at work so that I know I've drank enough. So my goal is if I haven't filled it up twice, I need to chug and then do it again. So finding what works best for you is important. And also, if you are not a fan of, say, water, some people like sparkling water because they like that carbonation, especially if you are going from drinking a lot of sodas to going to water, having like a little bit of fizzy water. So even like bubbly or those kind of products, or Perrier, that can be a way to transition into drinking more water. And if you're really finding it hard to get water in, but you're wanting to keep fluids, I wouldn't necessarily suggest this, but if you're having a hard time getting it in, like fluids, so that you are increasing your circulation and stuff like that, like a nut milk or one of those are a good substitution versus like a soda or a different kind of liquid like that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Fun fact of the day. I did not know this until recently, but if you tend to drink when you are eating, it's almost like having a campfire and pouring water over top of it. So try to, if you are going to be drinking water, to drink it in between your meals and not necessarily during your meals, because when you are eating, you're chewing and you're turning your digestive system on, which is wanting to break down the food. And if you're drinking a lot of liquid with that, it's basically diluting all your digestive enzymes, which is going to make you feel bloated and kind of gross after you're eating. So just something to think about as well. Any questions?
So is it better to drink it before or after?
It's better to drink it 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after your meal.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so the next question we're going to journal about is what foods tend to give you energy? And we can make a list of them. Okay. And then the other part of this is what foods tend to take away your energy. Because, like I was saying, acknowledgement or awareness is the first step to habit change. So, knowing what foods they might give you energy initially, but then you feel kind of gross after eating them. Okay. Do we need a few more minutes or is everyone
Good.
okay? So studies show that if you are hungry within the first 2 hours of eating, you have failed at your last meal. So looking at your day and looking at times that you ate, if there are gaps of 2 hours between your eating, that may mean that you have ate something that was more higher in sugar or starches than protein or good fats. Okay, so some people might eat something and then they're like, oh, I need a snack. Like they say, like they snack every 2 hours. Or you might have a tendency to eat lunch around 1 o'clock, and then by 3 or 4, you're kind of reaching for coffee or something sugary to kind of as a pick-me-up. And those are common things that common trends that you see with typical lunch kind of meals. If you think about it, like a sandwich is like heavy on like the bread part and less on the protein part. Or like a stir fry, most of the time if you not from home, but if you're buying it, it's a lot more pasta or like the noodles or the rice. So it's a bit more heavier on like the carb starch side versus like having lots of protein and vegetables and a healthy fat. So what I like to tell people or educate people is that you kind of want to eat more protein, and it can be plant or animal-based protein, and you want to have a good healthy fat in every meal. Okay, so I'm not, if you guys know me, like I don't restrict myself at all. Like I kind of eat all foods, like junk food, like spaghetti, like you name it, I eat it, but I also try to nourish my body. So if I'm going to have, say, pasta one night, I'm going to make sure that I'm also going to have a protein with it as well, so that I can feel fuller longer and have more energy. Okay. So basically what this helps you do is helps prevent the sugar roller coaster that your body goes through when you start to eat too many starches or too many, I guess, sugary foods. Basically, you're going to have a spike in your blood sugar, and then it's going to affect your adrenals, which causes your insulin to come out, and then you body drops. And then sometimes you kind of get shaky. I don't know, I've experienced this before. You get shaky, you don't feel good. And it's sometimes if your blood sugar drops drastically, it might take a while for you to feel better. Like even if you eat, you might not feel like completely satisfied right away, which might cause you to eat more. So it kind of is creating this big cycle of a roller coaster. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the bad part about being on a sugar roller coaster is basically your blood vessels can be damaged from this. So it can decrease your circulation, especially in your peripherals. So you want to make sure like you're not constantly going on like running on your adrenals and like constantly like going up and down with your blood sugar. It also affects your energy, which is why people are here tonight, because sure you have a spike of energy, but then it drops. And basically your overall health, because if you're constantly going up and down, it's going to affect your hormones and it's going to cause inflammation, which causes disease and yada yada. Okay. So what I want you to think about is looking at eating through a different lens. So instead of I'm hungry, I need to eat, think of it like what is going to give me energy based off the foods that you had listed, from foods that give you energy, and how can I increase more healthy fats and protein in my meals? Any questions so far?
Should we be reviewing what healthy foods are and what healthy fats are?
I'm going to go over healthy fats and healthy proteins, but healthy foods, that's a good question, Shanaz. I guess that's very individual. So what specific, like, do you mean like should be fruits and vegetables or what?
Well, when you said list what what foods give you energy,
yeah.
I kind of struggled.
No problem. Yeah, that is a common struggle because yeah.
So I wouldn't mind going over that.
Sure, no problem. So it can be very individual. I've had people tell me that eating pasta helps give them energy, and some people just didn't know because they weren't necessarily aware of like what's giving them energy and what's not giving them energy. They're like, I'm just eating for the sake of eating, right? Mm-hmm. And that's common. So what people tend to lean towards is eating more of a whole diet. So lots of vegetables and fruits, more, if you're going to eat like starches, you're going to eat like more wholesome. So like whole grain breads and whole grain pastas and like more of like the wholeness foods, I guess, or wholesome foods. And then you're going to have your sources of protein, either beans or nut butters or meat or fish. And basically on a balanced plate, you want to have majority of vegetables. You want to always have some sort of starch to help you feel satisfied, and a source of protein and a healthy fat of some sort, either that you've cooked your food in or on the side. Okay.
Sounds good.
No problem. Thank you for asking that. So first thing I'm going to talk about is fats. And even I had the misconception that fats make you fat. And I feel like the diet industry has made us believe that. And they've done a very good job at marketing and like making things low fat and no fat. And the thing is when you have low fat and no fat products, they're filling that product with chemicals and other compounds that actually are not as healthy for you as they want you to believe. So it's good to have healthy fats, which are like olive oil, coconut oil, butter, avocados, olives, flax seeds. Those are healthy fats. And you kind of want to stay away from like canola oil or corn, anything with corn in it, or soy. Those tend to cause inflammation in your body. And sometimes when you are reading the packaging, if you get like something packaged, it's kind of difficult to avoid it because it's used quite readily. And so sometimes like you might not be able to get like chickpeas or things like that without it. And I just say, as much as you can, try to not eat it as much as you can, but sometimes it's kind of unavoidable. Okay. I don't want people to be like hard on themselves. Okay. So you're wanting a tablespoon of healthy fats with your meals. Okay. And it might be a little bit of a brain struggle in the beginning because you're like, wait, I can actually put like all these fats in my meal and not get fat, right? And it's actually going to help stabilize your blood sugar. It's going to make you feel full longer, and it's actually very beneficial for you to have them. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So for proteins, they say, sorry, I lost where I know. For proteins, it's 2 eggs is a serving. They say like the palm of your hand. Sorry, I might get this confused because I was confused about when I was making my notes. So the palm of your hand is the serving for meat, and the fist is the serving for beans. And that is it for the protein servings. So you want to make sure that you have at least a serving of protein of some sort. So like for me, I'm on the go in the morning, so I make a protein smoothie. So I make sure I add protein powder to my smoothie, and I find that helps with making me feel fuller longer. Okay. So I want you to look at what you ate today. And sorry, Christiana, here, it might not be very accurate, but I want you to circle proteins in your meals, or like kind of star if you wrote down like lasagna or whatever, star if it had protein in it, or if it had, or if you had something with a fat, like a nut butter, or not, sorry, not a nut butter, like olives, or I guess a nut butter could also be a fat, but it's more of a protein. Yeah, just so that you can kind of see if you did it or where you ate more protein, less protein over the day. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So the last question I'm going to kind of be asking you is kind of a reflective question. So what will eating more high energy food do for you? What would eating more high energy food do for you? Like, besides giving you more energy, what could it do for you? Could it make you feel better about yourself?
Lead to a healthier lifestyle, hopefully.
Yeah. They say how you do one thing is how you do everything. So kind of will lead to everything, right? So if you're having more energy food, then you're going to have more energy, then you're going to want to work out more, right? So yeah. And sorry, when everyone's finished.
Yep.
What would be important about that? Okay. Does anyone want to share from that point what's important about having eating more high energy food? You can keep it to yourself too. That's okay as well.
Just affects everything,
Yeah.
every element of your day and your lifestyle.
Yeah, totally.
Thinking about concentration, because often, like, I feel if I'm not nourished, I feel tired and I'm unable to concentrate on my work.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if I have more energy, I'm able to think more clearly and concentrate more.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. Like not have the brain fog. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think feeding your body, with foods that give you energy and make you feel good is like one of the greatest acts of self-love, right? Is just putting things into your body that, you enjoy and that make you feel good, and just treating your body with respect in that way. And like everyone else is saying, like that will, help you to vibrate at a higher frequency, and everyone's going to see that energy, and it will just, go off into other areas of your life too. So
Yeah, totally. Yeah, completely. Yeah, I see that, Lauren, completely. Okay, so this is the end of my workshop for tonight. Any ahas for people, any questions, anything that came up for you overall? Is there any questions about the topic that we talked about before I give you one action plan to create for this week? Everyone's good? Okay. So based off our topic tonight, hydration and I guess nutrition, I want you to create one goal for you to have related to either hydration, so drinking, or eating more protein or fat in your diet for this week. So it could be drinking one more glass of water, or try not to make it too big of a goal because you want to make sure it's achievable, because if you make it too big of a goal, then it may not be achieved, and then you might feel sad and maybe give up. So it's better to start with small goals and go from there. So could be having protein in every meal for one day, or it could be trying to have protein at lunch every day. Yeah, it's up to you, whatever your goal is for this week related to those two. And if you feel like sharing, you're welcome to share.
Oh, so lots to think about. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so next week's session will be on sleep, and it'll be next week at 8 p.m. And I will see you guys then.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. Bye.
bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.